Good evening once again and a very warm welcome to Rwanda Television News with me, Gloria Mutesi. Nyaruguru district in Rwanda's southern province has taken first place in the entire country when it comes to the implementation of the 2019-2020 performance contracts. During a ceremony to sign the 2020-2021 performance contracts, President Paul Kagame urged all leaders to implement changes that will allow them to properly fulfill their performance contracts because they can have no acceptable excuses when they fail to meet the goals they set for themselves. Stationary kicks us off tonight with this story.
The ceremony to assess the implementation of the 2019-2020 performance contracts and sign the 2020-2021 performance contracts was held in Nyagatare district of the Eastern Province, with Nyaruguru and Huye districts of the Southern Province taking first and second place with 84 and 82.8% respectively, and Rwamagana district of the Eastern Province taking third place, trailing by 0.4% behind Huye. The mayor of Nyaruguru noted with pride that his district taking first place despite the FLN attacks his people had to endure is a clear message that has been sent by the local residents.
Let me
first say that this is a source of pride for our district and our people. We did nothing extraordinary. If anything, this is an indication of the progress our country has made. All of the three worst performing districts are located in the Western Province. Nyabihu, Karongi and Rusizi in the 28th, 29th and 30th positions respectively. Rusizi managed to implement just half of its performance contract. President Paul Kagame, who officiated at the ceremony, commended those who did well and noted that there can only be one reason the worst performers did so poorly.
The
budget is usually the problem, but for you to fail to implement something you yourself pledged to do, that you wanted to do, that you knew local residents needed, and the budget is available, how can that possibly be explained? How do you understand something like that? I will not ask you about the things that did not have a budget for their implementation or faced understandable problems. That a person can excuse. Efforts made and solutions can be found later. However, if that is not the case, what is the cause? It is clear that when you look at the districts that did not perform so well, immediately you see that there must be a problem of governance. Before you go looking for any other reason, there is a problem of governance. Okay, not all 30 districts can take first place, but you can see the difference. What sort of gap exists between the best and worst performers? Key changes have been implemented in the way performance contracts are prepared and assessed, thanks to recommendations made by President Kagame, as was noted by Rwanda's Prime Minister Dr. Edouard Ngirente.
Nyakubahwa Perezida wa Repubulika, nk'uko mwatugiriye inama mu gihe cyashize,
Your Excellency the President of the Republic, just as you recommended to us in the past, the way performance contracts are prepared and assessed has been revised and improved. Human security issues are now being focused on, as well as how local leaders go about transforming the social welfare of their local residents. In line with this, the follow-up and assessment of the 2019-2020 performance contracts focused on the following principles. Every year, an assessment of the performance contracts will be conducted, and every 3 years, an impact assessment on local residents will also take place. Also, every pledge stated in the contract must be implemented at a rate of 100% or get 0% in the assessment. We agreed that no partially implemented pledges will be considered again. With Rwanda's economy hit hard by the COVID-19 pandemic and expected to shrink by 0.2% this year, the performance contracts that have now been signed are looking to assist the worst affected sectors. President Kagame has made it clear that the way the contracts are prepared and assessed must be proper. I believe you have addressed and corrected what was wrong with the last performance contracts, the reason we decided to stop them. They had become nothing more than things where people said and did whatever they wanted, and those who assessed them and gave them marks did not seem to know why they were awarding those marks in the first place. Last time when I was invited to the signing and awarding ceremony, I declined that invitation and made it clear that I would not be part of such things. I could not be part of things where people were telling lies and those awarding the marks were allowing themselves to be deceived. It had become nothing more than just a formality, with nothing to gain from it. That is not what the performance contract ceremony should be about, and that is why I refused to attend. Now, however, it is good that certain things have been corrected and more needs to be done, so the required effort should be made. You should hold these people accountable. Don't let them just sit there. This time the ministers are listening too. The Mihigo computer software was used during the signing of this year's performance contracts.
Thank you, Serge. Now, this Saturday will mark the 13th annual Unity Club in Rwanda Forum. Some of its members are proud it has been the catalyst for positive change in the unity and reconciliation of Rwandans, as well as for the betterment of their lives. Uwase Yvonne is a beneficiary of the Unity Club in Rubavu district. She thanks Her Excellency Jeanette Kagame and the elders of the Intwara Rumuri, who thought of helping the orphans that were raised in the Noel orphanage in Nyundo. In 1996, the Unity Club in Intwara Rumuri was formed under the vision of Her Excellency Jeanette Kagame in order to restore the unity and reconciliation among the Rwandans that had been shattered as a result of the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi. Members of the Unity Club in Intwara Rumuri are proud that the organization has been the catalyst for positive change in the process of unity and reconciliation and in other activities aimed at improving the lives of the people. Unity Club has a special focus on helping orphans and widows, as well as those that lost both their husbands and children. Homes were built for these elders in Huye, Rusizi, and Bugesera districts, and they live together and are cared for so that they aren't always lonely and in grief for what happened to them. In addition to the members of the Unity Club, other Rwandans in general are happy with the progress made in unity and reconciliation. There is unity and reconciliation where I stay. In the aftermath of the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi, there were people who were hiding because of who they had wronged, but later they asked for forgiveness. And now some even share and are in harmony in all activities, even during work, even in places of worship. And their children are in harmony. I see that we've made great strides because there's no hesitation in Rwandans. Now I conduct business well. Before, people would not be free, and whenever someone wanted to buy something from me, they would first ask which ethnicity I belonged to, and there was fear. And now the government has done a lot in sensitization and education, trainings, and dialogues conducted, which is why we see people living in harmony. In December 2019, during the 12th Unity Club in Intwara Rumuri Forum, the First Lady of the Republic, Her Excellency Jeanette Kagame, and the President of the Association called on the people to continue promoting the program of Ndi Umunyarwanda.
Ndi Umunyarwanda, igitekerezo ngenga cy'ukubaho kwacu.
Ndi Umunyarwanda is a core pillar of our existence. It was the core idea when liberating and building up our country. Our survival depends on going back to the root source of Rwanda, to be Rwandan and to accept all those that you share the country with, to live in Rwanda and let Rwanda live within you, we ourselves and our families, where we live, work, and how we fulfill our duties.
Aho dutuye, aho dukora n'uburyo twuzuza inshingano dushinzwe.
This Saturday marks the 13th annual Unity Club in Intwara Rumuri Forum, themed Ndi Umunyarwanda, a pillar of our existence. Some of the people from the private active Rwandan communities from across the country say that partnering with local officials would speed up the implementation process of the performance contracts commonly referred to as Imihigo among sectors. Jen Mutoni has more.
Ndaberetse Daniel and Kamaraba Patricia are farmers in Gwarusaku Basin in Mayange District, Bugesera sector. They work in a cooperative sponsored by a program, Hingaweze, that has led to massive improvements in their farming. Local officials in partnership with Hingaweze program supported us, starting with providing us these pumping machines and more human labor assistance. The heads of private active Rwandan communities from across different sectors operating through the vision of JADF to achieve a sustainable and inclusive development driven by mutual accountability expressed how proud they are to participate in attaining a sector's goals of performance contract through the partnership among sectors to strive for development. We work hand in hand with the JADF to help us know the projects envisioned for each sector in a year, then based on that information to merge them with ours, hence working in partnership with them to ensure that they are successfully implemented through consistent support from each side. For that, we are proud for this achievement because we are here to serve the cause. Each sector has its own performance contract, of which we base on merging with our vision. The District Executive Secretary of Bugesera sector, Niyongabo Jacques, says private active Rwandan communities play a big role in attaining a sector's goals of performance contract in such a way that if not achieved, this would greatly affect the sector's development. JADF is very productive and has a lot of performance contracts to implement, which is why, for example, if associations have set a goal to build hospitals and sign it in the performance contract, then in case it's not achieved, then by all means, they have breached the contract. Bugesera sector places a 15th place in performance contracts of 2019 and 2020. The participation rate of private active Rwandan communities in the implementation of performance contract is 3.8%, whereas the performance contract of 2020-2021 for the whole sector shall be implemented by them at a rate of 3.6%. Jane Mutoni, reporting for RTV.
Thank you, Jen. Now, Umraje Communication for Development and their partner Population Media Center, through their dialogues given through various platforms like dramas, have started to deliver these messages with the aid of videos and footage as a way of reaching out to audiences via social media. It's a message contained in a series called Imfundo, which is expected to be uploaded on YouTube and BTN television. Kwizera Jean Bosco, the Director General of Umraje Communication for Development, confirms that the message will include giving courageous lessons to those who follow it. Umraje Communication for Development Center has been delivering messages to various people since 2014, acknowledging that they are based on research that they've been working on that have yielded results because the message they deliver is well understood and a large number of those who follow their teachings. The National Consultative Forum for Political Organization, NFPO, in partnership with the Rwanda Governance Board, have said sharing information amongst political parties is of paramount importance. This was during a one-day consultative meeting that, among other things, where they discussed, among other things, how they could best share information on a daily basis for the good of the locals.
Hongereye mu mikorere rero ikintu gikomeye cyane kumenya gukoresha itangazamakuru.
During this meeting, we managed to get to a realization that it is vital to work hand in hand with media houses so as to make our political party known to the people. And another thing is that as institutions, we need to improve on how often we communicate in such a way that we don't only have to do so during events, but rather make it a daily habit to share information amongst ourselves and not wait until something happens. Communication among political parties is essential, even though in most cases there's an issue of not including these meetings in budgets prepared by some of the political parties, yet it is vital. Another thing is that politicians in political parties need to take the first step in informing the people on the project plans for the country and other political issues.
The NFPO Executive Secretary Oswald Budasanzwe expanded on the key importance that if considered to the best of service offered the citizens, a more concrete success would be attained.
There are so many benefits that result from communication among political parties, as the locals ought to provide them with accurate information to help in decision-making, hence coming up with solutions that will be informed to the people concerning the plans that are envisioned for the country.
And in the spirit, followers of political parties are urged to use their social platforms to correct the false information that is spread about Rwanda while sharing the reality of activities taking place in the country. Also in the news today, Rwandan miners are asking their employers to make sure that they have comprehensive insurance that can help them in case of accidents while on the job. Company executives, meanwhile, claim that they do insure their miners. Seshnore has more.
Emerance Mukanda Maje lives in Rwamagana district of Rwanda's eastern province with her 2 grandchildren. Their mother died in a mine in 2019 after it collapsed, leaving Emerance with a heavy burden to bear.
I
can get very sad when I sit with them and we have nothing to eat, and I wonder how I will get new uniforms for them when it's time for them to return to school. They gave me just 1 million Rwanda francs as compensation, saying it is for helping the kids, but did not do much. I used it to buy this plot of land that I'm now sitting on.
Miners say it is not right that they do not get the sort of insurance coverage that can make a difference when accidents happen.
A mine once collapsed while I was in it, and after they pulled me out, I had to be hospitalized at the Rwamagana hospital and then transferred to Chibungo. After I was discharged and sent home, and I ended up paying all the hospital bills myself, they did nothing for me. You journalists should speak on our behalf so that we can get insurance.
Because many accidents happen in the mines, it is best that the miners are insured so that their medical bills can be covered, and in case of death, their loved ones are taken care of. Mining company executives claim, however, that all their employees are insured.
The insurance policies we take out for our miners include coverage for long-term disabilities or even death. If death does occur, we take care of all the funeral arrangements and also assist their families. That is one of our principles, and we are determined to continue implementing it.
If we are to operate properly, we must have insurance for our miners, and they must be properly equipped, including the gear they wear. Modern mining practices must be adopted in order to avoid accidents that affect both local miners and their relatives and the country as a whole. Insurance is necessary, and any company operating without it is committing a crime. Indeed, officials at the Rwanda Mines Petroleum and Gas Board insist that all mining companies are legally obliged to provide their miners with insurance, but admit that there are still issues that need to be addressed. The mining sector has been making progress, but more certainly needs to be done. As we stand today, at least it is now law that all mining companies should take out insurance plans for their employees. The problem is that some companies take out the cheapest possible plans for their miners, and when accidents occur, obviously insurance companies only make payouts that reflect the comprehensiveness of the plan taken out by the mining company. The question we are now asking them is whether the insurance plans they take out really help people. Now, however, that we have cases coming out in the media such as yours of that old woman who was given just a small compensation package that has done nothing to help her grandchildren return to school or get good housing accommodations, yet their mother died working in those mines. That is why the law steps in to rectify the situation based on the evidence available and what should be done. Between January and August 2020, 40 accidents occurred in Rwanda's mines, claiming the lives of 46 people. The country has 41,800 miners working underground extracting precious stones, with another 22,000 working in open-pit quarries.
Now, from the latest figures from the Ministry of Health, Rwanda today recorded 3 new people that tested positive for the coronavirus among the 1,810 tests that were conducted today. 27 new people have also recovered in the last 24 hours, and active cases are currently 221. Among the cases identified today, 1 is from Kigali and 2 are from Rubavu district. On behalf of the entire news production team, thank you for your company tonight. Stay well and stay safe. Have a good night and a lovely weekend. God bless you and keep you. And until next time, I'm Gloria Mutesi.